Welcome back to the Silver Surfer Adventures. I am Drunken Dan.
I think it takes a very special kind of individual in the midst of a pandemic to go, you know what? The World Health Organization, the bad guys. And I mean,
I love the curve. So for the audience, we were talking a little bit about Final Fantasy VII, and we're like, okay, let's save what we're talking about right now for the recording and go, and then just immediately. Go ahead, though. Go ahead. No, this is
I
great.
don't really have a lot to say about on it, but aside from the fact that, regardless of even if there are legitimate points, because I know other countries have criticized the WHO specifically for like their their way that they interact with China during the initial stages of the outbreak, is that it's like not the time or place to be picking this fight because
We can do this later.
well, it's because it's very clearly a tactic of, oh, I got in a lot of trouble because of all the advice I didn't advice that I ignored and all the people I told to shut up and just do it, and how it's America's like the single worst affected country in the world with the current crisis right now. And then it's like,
Oh, we're number 2 now?
no, it's a number one.
Oh, I got confused. Sorry, I misheard you.
I'm pretty sure New York has.
I was gonna be like, wait, we're number 2? I'm pretty sure we were number 1.
I'm
Come on,
pretty
America
sure-
number 1. Woo!
No, I'm pretty sure New York on its own is worse than most countries.
Yeah.
Yes,
So it's
it's
like
New York.
so it's like but I mean specifically it's like, and then because yeah, there was the whole incident in the press room. I don't know if you saw that, where he just kind of lost his shit and started yelling at people, which
The one where with the reporter.
yeah, where he calls her fake and CNN.
Yeah, I saw that where he's talking where the reporter's talking to him and it's like, yeah, but didn't you? And he just loses his shit.
And then like and then plays a propaganda video, which feels
Yeah, it turned
sketchy.
it turned the fucking press conference on the virus into a propaganda thing. It was so fucking bizarre.
Then turned. I mean, it's very clearly what's happened is that Trump is ill-equipped to deal with the crisis as is, and his sort of failings as a president are only becoming more and more apparent. And it's like I even said to Dan, I'm pretty sure at this point this is the most disastrous presidency of all time.
You know what's
Like-
funny? When you sent me that message, I actually like before I responded, I tried to think of one, and I couldn't really think of one that was like this like much of a clown show. Like even like when I go into like the ones that are like typically bad, it's like oh haha Taff, you Hoover and all that shit, and then I'm just like I got nothing.
But I mean,
They got
I'm gonna say
nothing in him.
I'm gonna say I mean Hoover did pretty bad. Hoover basically brought us into the Great Depression, and he was like, "Meh, we'll figure it out somehow." And then we didn't.
Yeah, but then Trump's doing that as well, but with
Yeah.
added elements of la la la. I'm burying my head in the sand. I can't hear you. It's kind of
And I mean, we're not at war yet, so I mean it's pretty bad. But I mean, I think we've been in worse
I've
spots
spoken
before.
to people who have said about like, oh, we should go to war with China. It's like, okay, by the time everyone gets out of this, A, no one could be and B, it'd be a real bad idea to just start picking.
That'd be a really good idea if you're a fan of Fallout.
I mean, it'd be a real bad idea if you specifically also want to like, grow economies because this is kind of the thing. And I even thing I said before is that this might be the thing that flat out just kills Brexit, because it's like no one can really afford to not trade with people over petty bullshit now.
Right.
Because haha, the economy, right?
Damn shame we keep losing great people and losing voice actors. You know, some people are that survive though. I'm like, why did you get to live instead?
Yeah, Rich Evans.
I would easily trade Boris Johnson for the voice of Soldier.
I mean,
I would do it right now.
I'd trade his life for that tiger.
You know, that's true.
I mean,
That's also true. I would also trade his life for that tiger.
to be fair, I will say it is almost refreshing just to see the sheer amount of people like, yeah, I mean, it's great that he got better and all, but like, come on though.
Why are you the one
Why
that got
couldn't you
better?
give us?
Why are you the one that gets to live?
I mean, this does prove there's no such thing as a loving god, I suppose.
It's
Bring
true.
back the lead singer of Fountains of Wayne over him.
Bring back the tiger.
I don't even know that band, and I'd rather.
Look, a tiger's life is worth more than the average human, correct?
They did the song "Stacy's Mom."
Oh, shit, damn.
I don't know that. Maybe.
I only know that because apparently they live relatively close to my town, and they named their band after a store we used to have called Fountains of Wayne in Wayne, New Jersey.
Fountains of Wayne reigns as far as the eye can see.
Yes.
We need to work together.
I mean, but yeah, it's not really much more. I was going to say, because the problem with the whole story about Trump and being bad, it's kind of like, because there was a few weeks ago that I'm guessing you all saw about the Randy Pitchford thing with Borderlands, where we're not going to pay you people.
Yeah,
And I kept thinking, man, I should bring that up in recording, and then I realised the reason why I never did is because it's like little commenting on, yeah, the water's wet and the grass is green.
Yeah, honestly, like, even when they first announced it, when like, the news came out of it, I was just like, okay.
Oh, that's Randy for you, criminal.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm more surprised that the criminal didn't cause a crime.
I mean, you say didn't. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's still things he's under investigation for.
No, I'm saying I'd be more surprised if the criminal didn't commit a crime. Yeah. I think I spoke a little too.
You know what? Randy Pitchford should just do an OJ and just write a book that says, "If I did it." Another man.
I think it's the second time since we started Saints Row that we've brought that up.
What, OJ or...
The OJ If I Did It book.
I mean, it's just that kind of thing where you don't really believe that someone would actually do that. It's like...
It's so ridiculous. I remember, like, VG Cats did, like, to give you an idea how old it is, VG Cats even did, like, a fucking parody one-strip comic of that with Kratos. Where they just replaced the thing with Kratos with the him in the pose, If I Did It.
You know what, to be fair, Kratos never once ever shied away from what he did. He just kept on doing it.
It's true.
It's not like he ever pretended he didn't murder his wife, his family. He just never stopped doing it. Oh, that's a nice family you got there. Shame if it were to get murdered. But you see, it's Ares' fault though. Ares made me do it.
Whoa, Ares! Oh, Zeus, it was you! Zeus!
And then
I think I even mentioned in recording before, but I'm not sure. In case I didn't, I'm gonna mention it again. I was so mad when I saw someone do a poster like, man, Doomslayer is such a bad flat character. Why can't he be a good flat character like Kratos?
I mean, he's not a character. That's the whole point. Like, Doomslayer is not a character. Doomslayer is... Well, John T. Doomguy, sorry. Like, is just... Like, he's literally the incarnation of self-insert, and that's fine because.
And also, he's way cooler than Kratos. I'm just saying.
That's what
saying.
That's what Doom's about. Doom's not about plot and characters and bullshit like this. Doom is about you have the shotgun. There are demons. You could use said shotgun to put lead in demons. Profit. Like that's it. There's no like epic storyline of Doom.
There is a storyline of God of War. It's just not a good one.
God of War's okay.
Yeah, but you have to play through 5 games of mediocrity.
No, you don't. You have to play through. No, you don't. You just have to go. Oh yeah, I guess you just have to say to someone, "Hey, so what happened in God of War? Kratos killed all of Greece." Okay.
Kratos caused the apocalypse and decides to feel bad after the game.
I don't even know if he really feels bad about it. He's just kind of. I think maybe he's just sort of tired. Like his killing hand is tired. He has like. He has like the murdering equivalent of Wanker's wrist. That's how I choose to interpret those events.
You know that makes sense. Now all he does is sit there and go, boy.
And that's why he's sad, because his wife is dead.
He can't kill his wife when his wife is dead.
Yeah, bitch outplayed him.
He got cucked out of killing his own wife.
Oh. So yeah, I mean, I guess now we can talk about FF7 Remake, because I'm a lot further in the game now, and approaching the endgame stuff.
Yeah, so most of our talk is like, so he's not yet at like anything new. So like, don't worry. The only spoilers will be the spoilers from the old fucking game, not any of the new shit.
I mean, there'll just be me saying, man, it was a lot quicker to get out of Midgard the first time round.
But we were talking about like, what the fuck are you doing, Sabo?
Are you turning this into
ASMR again?
Playing with the trash again. I just go in the ring and I just throw trash everywhere.
Why are you like this? I'm not even mad now. Now I'm just like, why are you like this?
Because you always have these casts around lunchtime for me.
Why don't you eat sooner? You know what time it is. It's always the same time.
Not like you have literally anything else to be doing right now.
Exactly.
I mean, I just came back from the post office, actually, so...
You post office?
Yes, I had to check to see what the stuff is in the post box, for all the work that I'm not doing right now.
Fair. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of... I guess the biggest change is they introduced that Roche guy who just kind of... He exists. Like, he's just there to fulfill the role of some... he's just there to be Reno until Reno's introduced. And I tried to explain to my friend who Reno is, and and that Reno is very clearly Nomura's favorite character.
Even though I don't care for Reno at all.
I mean, because Reno's barely in the game. Like, most of the... I mean...
That's actually kind of... I feel like the exact reason why I can't talk about... I won't talk about here. Why, where the deviation... and also just his writing in general, why I'm not exactly keen on what they're doing.
I mean... not being funny, like, once you finish the Midgar stuff, Shinra and the Turks are literally irrelevant to the plot at that point. Like, they crop up twice more, really, for, like, set pieces. And then that's sort of it. Like, they have no connection to... That's why it felt really weird. There's a segment where they do, like, a holodeck thing, and it shows, like, Sephiroth and Meteor, and it's like, how do you know about that? Like, no one's supposed to know about about Sephiroth's plan to just fucking nuke the planet with a meteor, and then just go...
Until he tells you.
Yeah, but that's, like, ages... It's like end of disc 1, or midway through. Is it end of disc 1 or is that midway through? Actually, no, it is end of disc 1, because then they're like, yeah, there's this thing called Meteor, and we kind of don't want Sephiroth to have it, so we need to get it. And then you get it. And then Sephiroth just steals it.
Oleg just killed himself. He, like, jumped on a fucking plane, exploded, and then I was like, oh, is this a scripted event? And then it just says, mission failed, Oleg died.
Oleg died when he...
this game's a lot buggier than I remember it.
So, I mean, there's not been huge changes, really.
Not yet.
I guess the main thing is that
you're not there yet.
I guess the main thing is that they have more people from Sector 7 live than they did in the original when the plate drops. Because it's like, which, it's kind of whatever. Like, you don't come back to Midgar and see them anymore after this. You often have fun adventures with your dog friend.
Oh, so they didn't kill everyone this time?
No, I mean, Jesse and Biggs are both dead, for sure. For real, he's dead.
For real, or did they just,
No, they die. Jesse dies before she gets crushed, and I forget if Biggs dies before he is crushed, but... Wedge seems to live, but I'm not so sure on that.
Which one was Wedge again? Was it the
fat
one?
Wedge is the fat guy.
Of course the fat one.
Wedge is the fat one, because he falls off the building at the start and he doesn't have anything, and then you're just like,
they introduced a subplot with Jessie and her father being comatose, and then they killed her anyway, so that's never going to be resolved.
Jesse's not comatose. They introduced a thing where Jessie was a actress at the Golden Saucer, or was going to be, and then her father got Mako poisoning and is now in a coma. And then I guess that's not going to be resolved. Well, actually, I'm
say, or he's going to wake up and they're going to be like, oh yeah, your daughter's dead, and he'll go, no, and that'll be the end of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, actually, what plate was he on? Was he on the Sector 7 plate? Because if he's on Sector... I can't remember which plate it was they go to. But they might already be dead anyway, so it's fine.
Well, in the original game, Wedge falls off the
he falls
tower,
off and just hits the ground, and then
Eris is like, "I'll take care of him," but then you never see any of them again, and then you run into Jesse and Biggs going up the tower, and they're like, "Oh no, we're hurt, and we're probably going to die," and then the tower falls, and they're just like, "Well, all those guys are dead."
Yeah, I mean that's basically. I mean, Jesse has a more drawn out death scene because they fucking milked Jesse for as much as they could in this game.
Yeah.
Which I'm not opposed to. I kind of wish they'd given her a better last name than Raspberry.
I forgot they did that.
Raspberry. Weird choice, I gotta say.
Jesse Raspberry. It feels like Nomura just looked at a fucking catalog, was like, what do I give her as a name? Raspberry. When in your game, the two characters with the most sort of sensible names are Barrett Wallace and Tifa Lockhart. And Barrett is just Barrett is a thing of intentional misreading of Bullet, and also there is a model of gun or a maker of guns called Barrett. But I guess Sid Highway. Actually, no, because Sid is spelt weird. Sid is spelt like kid.
I mean, Yuffie's definitely odd. I guess Vincent Valentine is a normal name, but we're not seeing Vincent forever. But yeah, it's definitely it's some interesting. I mean, I get it. Like I even said that there's Midgard's 3 hours long in OG FF7, and that's with the advent, and that's with like the battle system being inherently slower in FF7 than it is in Remake. So there was gonna have to be some extensions.
Right.
Like, I guess some of the things definitely a lot of some of the like sort of side bits feel definitely egregious, right? It's like, okay, we got to get up topside. Okay, got to go visit the sewer. Got to go visit Don Corneo's mansion. Okay, got to go into the sewers. Okay, got to go chase this like. Remember the not Rancor fight in the sewers in the original?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to chase one of their babies to find a key to get a door, so that you can then go and fight the Rancor again.
Really?
So that you can then like get a grappling gun to start the climb to get back up.
I know there's a random boss in the train yards, which was, I think, originally just a rare enemy in there.
Yeah, you fight a ghost. What is weird is, remember Hell House, that random enemy you fight in the train graveyard? Yeah, that's been remixed into a boss as well, but in the arena.
That's interesting.
And also, there's a lot of bosses get like, you remember Airbuster, the boss at Macro Rectified? That gets a lot of fanfare and build up. Like, once you, like, plant the bomb, the entire thing is like, oh man, you're about to fight the Airbuster. The Airbuster's gonna be sick, it's gonna beat your shit in. It's like, the Airbuster is just some random schmuck who you crush because...
The most notable thing about the Airbuster is that it was the first battle that you've had the regular boss music on.
And also, where you have, like, the divided... And you have, like, the divided party thing.
Oh, yeah. But,
I mean... That's kind of... Airbuster was nothing special, so it felt weird that Airbuster got this like huge build up to it. Oh my god!
Did they do that line where it's like, "Oh my god, it's an artificial soldier"?
I don't think they said that.
Because I remember there is this weird thing when Airbuster shows up in the original game where it's like, remember him? He's just like you, and he's like, "What? You mean he's an artificial soldier?" But then nothing ever comes up of that ever again.
They also don't say a lot of lines like, "Aerith doesn't go, this guy are sick."
I mean, I didn't expect that one to make it in, so...
I hoped it would somehow get in some capacity. I will say Heidegger being voiced by John DiMaggio is just really distracting to me.
Heidegger's very appearance is very distracting, because I'm like, why don't you look like a walking blob?
Because I like John DiMaggio, but I only hear, whenever he speaks, I only hear two voices. I hear Bender, or I hear Aquaman. And I don't really want to live in the world... What?
You don't hear Waka?
No, I don't hear Waka. Oh. I try not to hear Waka. That horrible racist. God. You know what though, if I ever do meet John DiMaggio at a con, as unlikely as it is these days, I totally would want to get him to say better dead than Al Bad in the Waka voice. It's just good to make that a thing, just Waka doing racist propaganda. But no, surprised that they kind of, I guess, I don't know, there's lots of side quests.
How badly have they foreshadowed the Aerith thing?
I mean,
because I just remember watching my one streamer friend play like the first 3 hours, and it's like, the instant you meet Aerith, Cloud sees Sephiroth standing behind her.
Yeah, that
I was
happens.
like, wow,
yeah.
That's...
That happens. She has a line where it's like, what would you do without me? And I think there's a couple... Like, I actually even said... I think if I said this last week, it's really kind of bad. It's kind of funny how, like, they've massively shifted gears on FF7, whereas original they were, like, super bigging up Aerith, and in this one it's like, there's so much emphasis and focus and build up to Tifa, to the point where they even retcon it so that Tifa is like the first character that the player meets when they, or that is the first between like Aerith and Tifa that you meet or will see as the player, because they added the flashbacks into the demo. So you see Tifa as the player playing Cloud before Cloud meets Aerith now. So there's like so much.
Well, it's because Tifa is kind of the canon winner.
Well, yeah, and also because I've said this to other people, is that there's not really much point in pretending that Aerith doesn't die, because everybody fucking knows. It's like, yes, there's a point in pretending Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge don't die because people don't remember them. Nobody is going into this game, even if they've never
literally, I forgot about them until they showed her now, like in the first like couple trailers or so. I remember I was like, oh yeah, that one. Like that, it was that kind of reaction where it's like, oh yeah, you, I guess.
So that's what I'm saying is that there's not any point in pretending that Aerith doesn't die because everybody knows. People have never played a Final Fantasy in their life know that that bit's gonna die. So, might as well just double down on Best Girl. And I mean, I ain't complaining. Tifa is like grade A waifu bait. S tier. Actually, no, sorry, she's triple S tier. Everyone knows this. It's only been reaffirmed.
That's a boob joke.
No, actually, I was thinking specifically of like the triple S rank in DMC5 is smoking sexy style, and it's like that does actually super apply to Tifa.
There is no occupation. We have the full
But
yeah, I gotta be quiet because, like I said, I do know what they do with this game, so I'm just kind of waiting for them to finish before I say anything.
I mean, there's not much more to say. It's like
that's why I was quiet during that whole bit because I'm just like, yeah, there's stuff I can't mention that I want to interject with, but I can't yet.
I mean,
once you're done, it's free game.
What are you gonna tell me that? What are you gonna say? Like, Tifa's the one who just dies because no more.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
If Jessica Parrish was your daughter, how far
just know, Nomura.
I mean,
that's all I've been telling people. Just Nomura.
That's the thing, is that Nomura is usually fairly easy to predict.
Usually you can figure out what he's gonna do once you figure out what he's been into lately. Whatever he's currently really jacking off to is what you can usually expect from him. Kind of like how you can expect Sabo to randomly ASMR. At least mute your mic when you're gonna do it.
I'm trying to eat quietly.
I can fucking hear, like, every fucking nose hair. That's how I say, just, like, mute your mic occasionally when you're gonna do it. It's fine.
Oh.
Just mute your mic.
Let me turn the volume down.
There's a mute button right there on Discord. It's just right there. I also know you're having Sody Pop.
Oh, because it's... I'm not even drinking it. You can hear it fizzling. Wow.
No, it might have been me, sorry.
No, it's from him.
No, because the glass was right there. I just didn't realize it was that sensitive that it was picking up the sizzling from the...
There's two missions here. A Kinsey one, a Pierce one. The Pierce one is Convoy Decoy, and the Kinsey one is Live with Killbane. I just like that name, Live with Killbane. Wait, is that the wrestling matchup mission?
Possibly.
If that's okay, we're gonna do that one because if that's the wrestling match one. I gotta do that one, especially now that WWE is an essential business according to the Florida government. It's not a joke. I'm fucking dead serious.
But yeah, there's kind of not much else to really say. And FF7's been the thing I've been playing the most. But it takes a lot of time.
And like before, like the most I've really done with like Persona is I beat Kamoshida, and that's about it. Because again, like I said, I'm usually tired after work, and I just haven't really gotten around to playing too much. I'll probably play
I'm almost at the end of Royal.
Oh yeah, I mean a friend of mine has been streaming it, who's streaming it as we record. I know she finished Futaba's castle not too long ago, or palace. So like she's like already at the midway point, and I'm like, oh, I beat Kamoshida. The most I can say, the only thing I do like what they added to the fight, and I do, and I did forget how fucking hype, life will changes when you go back to the fucking palace to take it out.
Yeah, they change every boss. Every boss has a new thing now.
Yeah, I heard that with every boss has new shit added to them. But yeah, I'm still too early in to really say much about it.
And it's much easier to break personas now. Because of the extra... so there's this thing later on when, like, sometimes after you beat a couple bosses, the Velvet Room will get bonuses for a while. where you can like if you fuse something, it'll get extra stats, or you can just like gallows something repeatedly without a day limit, so you can just buff them and buff them and buff them, and so I've already made a crazy Arsene.
The question though is the Reaper exploit still in the Reaper flu season?
No, they've patched that.
Damn it!
Because I guess you don't need to exploit that to beat the bonus boss now, because you can just exploit the Velvet Room upgrades instead.
You need to see this.
Yeah, but it was still just really funny just doing that on flu season.
No, the Reaper can't get the flu. The Reaper is the only enemy that is immune to the flu there.
They damn it. Bastards. Bastards. It was the funniest shit to me. Oh well. 0 out of 10. Would not recommend.
No idea. They're broadcasting from
I'm fucking around.
We'll fucking disclose it.
But yeah, there's not like a whole lot of new stuff going on still, because you know, global pandemic.
Well, also just like kind of a whole bunch of new stuff's already come out, but you know.
Yeah, all the stuff that came out like it was like, you know, finished before everything went to shit.
Wasn't a lot of stuff just like remote developing now?
I think some are not. Oh, actually, that just reminded me because it got delayed. So Last of Us 2, they had the voice actor for God, I'm forgetting his fucking name. The main character, what's his name in Last of Us?
Oh, oh, right, because Troy Baker came out and said, yeah, be cool about it, guys.
Oh yeah, he's like, hey, this might not be the story you were expecting, but it's the story that Ellie and whatever Sad Dad wanted to tell. And I just started laughing because I'm like, oof, that's not a good, that's not a good sign.
That basically like hard confirms it's
What's next?
That's never a good sign when they send out the voice actor to do damage control before it's even released.
I thought it was also like taking this I thought it was also being like super delayed so that it was being super delayed so like what's it called because of the pandemic. Just because it's kind of like RE3 was a bit too late to stop doing it. But...
Yeah, I don't know.
But,
I don't know. I just know that's what happened.
I do know the plan is that Gotham High will save comic books.
Well,
have you not heard about Gotham High?
What? Everything that you just said, what?
It's a comic book that they're doing, Gotham High. That's,
okay.
I mean, I don't know anything more about it. I just know it's a comic book that's called Gotham High that exists that nobody seems to be that keen on.
So, was there like one of them saying that it will save comic books? I don't get the point of that bit. I'm confused.
I think someone did say that, but as I said, I know very little about it. I was kind of hoping when I broached the subject, other people you two would jump in and be like, that's what...
Because with everything going on, the fact that my comic shop is closed, I haven't really been paying too much attention to comic books.
Everyone's...
So, like, the last thing that I saw with comic books was when they did that thing with the fucking safe space and Snowflake.
Yes. But, yeah, beyond that, yeah. I'm just trying to think if there's anything more about... I mean, I do like the FF7 remake has the thing where you can, well, instead of it being just weapons or straight upgrade to other weapons, that the weapons have, like, intent are about skewing which direction you build characters, so it's like, each sword that Cloud has is...
So actually kind of similar to, like, a lot of what older RPGs used to do with their weapons, where... They were like, there were upgrades, but then there were like side grades and shit like that.
So it's like Cloud's weapons. He has Buster Sword is just overall, is just general. Yeah, it's good at everything, but doesn't excel in stuff. Hard Edge is like, yeah, you just want melee, fuck magic. Mythical Saber's like, you want magic, but fuck melee. But the main thing I did find interesting is they tie it so that each weapon has a unique ability. that you unlock by using the ability, and once you unlock the ability, you can use it for any weapon. So there is incentive to try out all the other weapons.
Makes sense.
I mean, the original game, there pretty much were no weapon upgrades in Midgar. Yeah, obviously that wouldn't work here, but I mean, in the original, your only weapon in Midgar is if you steal the hard edge from one of their enemies in the Shinra Tower at the very, very end. Otherwise, Cloud is stuck with the Buster Sword until then.
Yeah. And it's not until you get to Calm that I think you get the first even buy. I think Hard Edge is the one you still buy, or is it Force Saber?
No, it's Mithril Saber.
That was it, Mithril Saber.
You can steal the hard edge from one of the enemies. If you don't, you can actually buy the hard edge until like a while later. So, and there was the one enemy, the one ghost enemy that became the boss in the train yard was in the original game. It was a rare encounter that you could steal an upgrade for Eris for.
Yeah, that's actually kept in the remake. You can steal a weapon you can steal an extra weapon from that for area.
Oh yeah, that was actually one thing that we didn't talk about, is that this game does do a good job with the characterization and adds more characterization to otherwise flat characters. Eris.
I mean, I'll say that Aerith originally...
They turned her into a... I mean, yeah, in the fucking, like, prequels and shit, they decided to slap on a personality.
Actually, it's actually reverse. In the original, I'm not going to say she had a lot, but she's definitely played as a much more kind of impish, playful person, as opposed to Tifa being more sort of straight-laced.
She basically is until Cosmo Canyon, at which point she's like, I am Jesus.
And then she's like, I must go, my planet needs me. But until that point, she's played off as being this, not even necessarily innocent, naive girl, but she's definitely like playful and like bantery. But not, and definitely Remake has pushed that a lot more.
Like remember, dressing Cloud in drag was her idea.
Yeah. Whereas
oh god, that killed me.
Whereas in Remake, it's kind of no one's idea. They just meet one guy. They just meet one guy who's like, yeah, I'm gonna put you in drag.
From what I've seen, they kind of turned her into more of a goblin, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's kind of what she was like. That's kind of what she's like in the pre-Cosmo Canyon stuff. It's just, but it's doubled down. It's like a lot of things. It is doubled down on in Remake, but I will say I definitely like Remake's version of Cloud because he's very similar to what he was originally, and not with any.
Also a side mark. I like how he starts off hating cats, and then he starts going good kitty and shit. It's so stupid and small, but I like it.
I mean, gotta grab that pussy while you can.
It's just set up for when he
never know. They
meets
might. You never know. You never know. They might kill Tifa. You never know.
No, they won't. I just like that there's literally I like that there's literally a fucking sequence where Cloud is just like, "Are you that desperate to Jessie?"
Oh yeah, I saw that, and I'm just like,
damn.
Thank you. But also, that's why people like her, because she's that desperate for Cloud's dick.
I mean,
well, that's just doubling down on like her one
line.
That one line that she had.
Moment from the original where it was like, she likes to make bombs, and she was kind of into Cloud, but after you go to Tifa's bar, like you don't see her again until she's getting squashed.
Yeah. What's also weird is you don't actually see the underground in the bar. Like, people go there. It still exists. You just never go there yourself.
Oh, you don't go down there where Barrett throws the one guy at the ceiling? That's weird.
No, but Barrett, like, goes down there, and people use the elevator, and it's just... It is...
I guess they... Do they do that with a lot of, like, random small areas in the original game that you can't go to because, like, they clearly didn't want to model something that you only go to once?
No, because they model like the entirety of the Sector 7 slums and the Sector 5 slums and Walmart.
Also the honeybee scene.
Oh yeah, the honeybee scene's pretty great.
It is.
But
can you still go into the honeybee's makeup room?
No, and you can't go into the sauna.
Oh.
But you can do squats. They kept the squat mode going.
I won't lie, I wasn't sure what they were going to do if they were going to keep the sauna or not originally.
No, I think it would have been widely misconstrued and would have caused a lot of...
Oh yeah, because I think actually when the remake was still, like, before it was out, I think we actually had like a conversation recording where we're like, yeah, that's probably going to be one of the things that they cut out.
they'll get away with the drag stuff because they'll get away with the drag stuff because it's like, haha, look, it's a guy who doesn't want to and he's got to do it, and it's not commenting on anything. It's just saying, he doesn't like this. It's very uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, it's not commenting on anything. It's just he doesn't want to do it.
Whereas the sorta segment is it's very rapey.
It's very homophobic.
I wouldn't even say homophobic. It's just rapey. Because they don't even say imply there's anything wrong with that. They just imply that Cloud is raped, and it's like, yeah, I can see what I might not want to do that joke anymore. I mean, you can still tell. I mean, obviously, like when I did it, I got everything, and Corneo chose Cloud because I mean, who couldn't choose Cloud? And no, I'm pretty sure you can't like alter that. Like, I know that you alter the dresses and choices, but like, well,
it's always Cloud.
I mean, it's always Cloud. It's so pretty. Plus, like, Corneo's into being called trash.
Just don't actually hit him, then he gets upset.
Wow. He's not into that side of S&M.
Yeah, he likes being called trash and says he's trash, but if you start hitting him, then, you know, it's not as hot.
So it's gonna be real interesting to see what happens when we go to fucking Wutai.
Especially now.
Fucking Wutai. Especially because I already have Leviathan.
No, you probably won't have it.
Nah, yeah, we'll probably lose all of our summoning material.
They'll probably Metroid you.
I mean, you kind of got to, because...
They'll cold steel you, where it's just like, hey, you know all that quartz you gathered? Yeah, you can't use it.
Yeah, you can't use the quartz, but you just still get to keep Gale. And Gale is all you need.
Gale is all you need.
Like
maybe they'll say there's a new system upgrade, so you can't use your original stuff.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be some...
That only works in Trails.
I'm sure there'll be some bullshit as to how you don't have all of your abilities. I mean, and they might just pull a Kingdom Hearts where they just kind of do give you most of your abilities, they just don't tell you their abilities. It's like, you know how Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora has basically all of like the momentum, like the movement and agility stuff that Kingdom Hearts 1 Sora gets through leveling up. He just has as a baseline.
He's like, hey, you don't need to block by leveling up, you just know how to block now.
So they might just do that where some abilities you just have because fuck it. And then just say, it's okay, sorry, you went to sleep for a year. So it's okay, Cloud, you got almost possessed by Xehanort, so you had to lose all your abilities. Again. And so I was like, fuck is this shit? I'm going to go kill myself. What? I said I'm going to go rescue Kairi. Oh. But yeah, I like how Reno as a character has just been in like, not even could be contained to his own game. He has to also be a major character in Kingdom Hearts. And probably the thing that I probably most dislike about Reno, specifically for his
Everything.
No, I mean, the only thing I dislike about Reno specifically is that I don't like the fact that so many like party members of FF7 got shit changed for like screen time in Advent Children, and he and Rude got so much comparatively.
Yeah, it's like just we want to see more of these guys.
It's like, but Barrett and Sid and Red 13, they don't get to appear, but fucking Reno and Rude get to appear and have a fight scene, and it's like, why? I mean, I'm not expecting that every party member to get treated equally by Advent Children, because I mean, come on.
Japan loves their random loser enemies, I guess.
Nomura loves Reno. I'm pretty sure he said in interviews Reno is his favorite.
Yeah, because Nomura is trash.
So I guess that means Reno's going to be a party member now.
Probably. Or at least I'll tell you what they'll do. They'll make them like guest party members in fucking Wutai.
You're looking forward to Wutai, eh?
I mean, Wutai's just such an obnoxious side quest.
I feel like it'll be a lot easier now because the battle system isn't completely reliant on materia.
Well, that's
so
the
you
point,
can do more than just like one single attack.
But that's the point, is that when you play it in the original, it's the side quest you dread doing the most, because it's fucking obnoxious, because you lose all your materia, and because materia is really important in FF7 original.
I just wait until disc 2 when you're higher leveled enough.
So,
and also you can just land Highwind right next to it and skip the whole running through the mountains part.
And then it's like, once you're in Rutai, it's just a massive fetch quest trying to find Yuffie, and throughout the entirety of why you're there. And then it's just kind of... Yeah, and then Don Corneo kidnaps Yuffie and Elena and decides to sacrifice them? Or have sex with them? I don't really remember which was his plan.
His plan was his plan was to decide which of them was going to be his girl for the night, but he decides this by tying them to the sacrificing altar for some reason.
And so,
I'm not quite sure his logic there, but...
And so the party and Reno and Rue just work together, and then they're like, let's never speak of these events again. And then Yuffie's like, but Cloud, we need to do the battle arena to get Leviathan.
Well, but they do speak it. Well, they don't speak of it again, but if you do that, then you can not fight the Turks at the final point in Midgar. When they run into them in the tunnels, and you can be like, we could just not fight because that's stupid. And they're like, yeah, you're right, that's a good idea.
I mean, it does also
see you in Advent Children, Cloud.
It also feels super weird how FF7 Remake tries to humanize a lot of the soldiers and such. But then it's like, yeah, but a lot of them, and the Turks included, they're still perfectly okay with just mass murdering like 50,000 people. Like, they go, man, this sucks, but it's like, you still do it. It's kind of feels odd. Like, you don't really get to come back from that plate drop. Because see, at least they highlight that Reeve was like, Matt, this is a stupid idea. This is the stupidest idea you've ever... Some real stupid ideas, you idiots. But yeah, the Turks are like, well, I guess we'll still do it. If Rude even gets a big dramatic moment of pushing the fucking button. It's like, yeah, Rude's like directly responsible for the death of like 50,000 people. So... Fucking Rude.
And the only punishment they get from it is getting beaten up by those 2 Sephiroth clones.
God, I actually explained to my friend that the plot of Advent Children is literally about mini Sephiroths trying to evolve into actual Sephiroth.
You know what's funny? Damn it, I gotta wait until you beat it to make the joke. Fuck! I gotta wait! Damn it! This is the perfect time!
There must be this major thing at the end if you don't want to tell them about it.
I mean... I'm curious, because it's like, it's only if they just flat out kill a party member before... kill a party member.
No, they don't do that.
It's like, what can they really... What's the change? It's like, do they blow up all of Midgar?
No.
I mean, because they've already introduced the reunion plot. By just having, like, those random reunion people in Midgar. And it's like, wow, that's super early for that.
I have to fucking wait, it's the problem.
I'm just trying to think what could be...
Just beat the game and I can fucking talk about it!
The huge twisters.
Just beat the fucking game!
It's twisted, it's Genova.
Just beat the goddamn game!
I think there's actually a point. They've been very coy about... They've not had any references to Genova yet.
You look good.
Which I thought was odd, considering Kate Sith, of all people, gets the fucking cameo.
Thank God.
Or did he cameo at the Honeybee Inn?
No. What happens is when the plate drops, there's a shot of Kate Sith like running to see it and then falling to his knees and being sad. And I was even saying to Dan, it's like, I don't get why they have Kate Sith cameo here, because that's like...
I guess it's to show that Reeve was trying to stop it, but he didn't get there in time.
Why would he be using Kate Sith at this point? God, remember that point in Dirge of Cerberus where Vincent meets Reeve, and it turns out it's not actually Reeve, it's a robot piloted by Kate Sith, who is also a robot piloted by Reeve across the planet?
How does that work?
I don't fucking know. Why does Dirge of Cerberus is just how I should say it.
Why does Dirge of Cerberus exist? Well, because GAC wanted to be in a game.
No, it's because they were like, man, FF7 was our biggest property, let's try and do more. And then Dirge of Cerberus was a massive failure because Square didn't do action games at that point. So their team had no experience doing it, and they fucked around with it. And then Advent Children was a success, but not like the mega smash hit they were hoping for. And Crisis Core was, I mean, I did okay for a PSP game, but once again, it wasn't the gangbuster sales that I think they expected.
Oh shit.
I guess that's the point. They could have Zack be alive.
I mean, they could, but wouldn't that literally ruin the entire point of the plot?
I mean, would it? Because it's like.
Then again, I was like, Cloud doesn't seem to have amnesia about what really happened this time, so I don't know.
They've been really coy about how much they know about what happened.
Because when he runs him in the beginning, he's like, I killed you, and there's like, wait, that's not how it worked in the original. In the original, he's like, all I know is that I went to fight him, and then I can't remember anything after that.
I mean, maybe he just assumed he killed him because Cloud walked away and Sephiroth seemingly didn't.
Cloud didn't walk away.
Well, got dragged away by Zack, but he doesn't remember that bit.
No, he's just like, the next thing he knew, he fought Sephiroth, and then he suddenly ended up in Midgar somehow, like 5 years later.
I mean, Tifa does ask, hey, can we talk about what happened in the time between you leaving the village and getting here? And like they never talk about it, so I assume that's not fundamentally that much different. But yeah, they have the like flashbacks, or they imply that something about the Nibelheim stuff, but it's like really awkward. About I guess they're waiting for like Game 2 and the calm segment where Cloud's like, okay, I'll tell you my tragic backstory now, and then Tifa's like standing in the corner like, yes, this is your backstory. That is exactly how that happened, Cloud. How do you know that, Cloud?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, Cloud.
And then Tifa has a whole thing of like, but Cloud wasn't there. Little did she know, Cloud was there.
That's the thought, because Tifa's like, Cloud wasn't there, but Cloud seems to know everything that happened. Maybe my memories are wrong.
But then it turned out her memories weren't wrong, but Cloud was also still there. Because
she doesn't, because she just randomly showed up in Midgard too, but it turns out that Zangan, the master of fisting, brought her there.
Yeah, and
then John was the zombie.
And then Zangan died.
Did he die, or did he just never show up again?
I think he died.
I mean,
I will check.
Why did they? Because no, as I remember, I'm not. He's like I left you with a doctor in Midgar, and then I ran off because I felt like there were other things that needed to be punched in the world, and like literally, that's the last you see him.
Okay, his ultimate fates once he left Midgar is unknown.
Yeah,
so, yeah
no. Just like you find a note, and with the final half where he's like, yeah, I ran in and I grabbed you before the Shinra guys snatched you up, but I couldn't save your buddy. And then I brought you to Midgar, which is kind of stupid because like I brought you to Shinra's home city to keep you away from the Shinras.
I mean, where else? I mean, you've heard of hiding in plain sight.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, I brought you to Midgar, I left you with a doctor, and then I ran off. And that's literally the last you hear of him.
Oh yeah, he was. All right, that was the thing. He was meant to appear in Nibelheim and tell people about what happened, but they cut Zangan. So yeah, Zangan's just sort of somewhere. Huh. I'm guessing Zangan will appear in the remake in some capacity.
Probably.
Because that's just a free side quest. That's free,
yeah,
really.
Just like, well, we gotta do something to fill out this game.
Well, actually, you don't need to do a whole lot to fill out Game 2, because I think we already guessed that Game 2 is just going to cover to the end of Disc 1, and that's like Junon and Golden Saucer and the desert and
there's a lot of content.
Costa del Sol,
Gongaga, Cosmo Canyon, Nibelheim, Rocket Town.
Yeah, Rocket Town. Fucking Wutai.
Wutai, Temple of the Ancients, and then the City of the Ancients.
Yeah, and then that's game, and then the final game can just be cleaning up all those messes.
Costa del Sol. Costa del Sol, you get there off the ship, and then you never have to go back there again.
Yeah, well, you're basically there just so you can see Hojo sunbathing. And then
you don't even have to do it. You can literally just go run right to the world map, and like that's the end of that, and never go back there again.
It feels odd that Hojo's just there sunbathing, because I mean, Hojo's just odd in general. Like Hojo's plan. What is Hojo's plan? Just to let Sephiroth blow up the world? I think.
Yes. Let Sephiroth blow up the world to show that his son is his greatest achievement and the most powerful person.
Hojo's just butt mad because his wife was like, "Man, though, that Vincent." And then he turned Vincent into a vampire and locked him in the basement. And you're like, Why didn't you just kill him, Hojo?
Well, because that would be too easy.
And then, you just bring Vincent to fight Hojo, and he's like, oh no. He can turn into chaos. I didn't foresee this. He can turn into the final boss of Final Fantasy 1. Shit! Oh my god, if Vincent's voiced by Keith David, could you fucking imagine?
I'm assuming he's just going to be Steve Bloom again, because Steve Bloom has this rule that no matter who gets recasted, he never does.
I mean...
It's why he's always Wolverine.
I mean, who else are you going to get to voice Wolverine, really?
I mean, the guy from the original X-Men cartoon? Scott McNeil.
Oh, was that Scott McNeil?
Scott McNeil voiced Wolverine in X-Men Evolution only.
Oh, really? That was him? Damn.
That was him. That was him using his regular voice without any kind of funny accent.
Well, it was not his regular voice because he has an Australian accent.
Well, okay.
Because he's from the land down under.
He doesn't have an Australian accent, or he chooses not to use it. Because like when you see him at a con, he talks like his regular Canadian self, and he's like, yeah, I have an Australian accent, I just choose not to use it.
But yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other interesting tidbits that happen. I mean, I guess by virtue of saying there's no reference to Angeal or Genesis or any of that stuff yet, so that's positive.
For now.
At the moment, Remake is just FF7 and not any of it.
Just wait until Gak storms into Square Enix's offices and be like, I demand you put me in the game again.
So, having all that, so, I mean... I like Advent Children, but I also don't like it. Like, I'm trying to think of the best way to... Like, there's lots of things on it to like, and then there's a lot of things to not like. And it kind of fluctuates by day, which there is more of. It's like, but the animation's really nice. It surprisingly holds up from what I remember / have seen.
Oh, visually, yeah.
Like,
the visuals are great.
Visuals are great. There's a lot of really cool designs on some things, and like, it's nice that all the characters are back, and then but
some of them have some fun designs.
And then it would be, I was mostly thinking of like the mechanical designs. Like the redesigns are.
Oh yeah.
The actual redesigns of the characters are okay. I think Barrett gets probably the best overall redesign.
I think Barrett and Yuffie's are pretty good. I don't really like Tifa's.
Tifa's is okay. It's just but it's like it's the compromise of I see what they were going for because they decided to give Cloud his stupid black leather outfit.
Right.
But I'm not even saying of like, man, I prefer her really skimpy outfit. It's just, I don't know. I think it's like the ruffled shorts just feel odd to me, and the nipple zippers.
Well, you see, it makes perfect sense.
But yeah, Sid doesn't have a redesign, and he's only in it for like a second, and neither does Red 13. I'm actually curious as to how like that whole thing, how Red 13 is going to play out, because I mentioned before, I always found it odd that when you meet Red 13, he's like, I don't have a name, but people here call me Red 13, but call me whatever you want. And it's like, you do have a name. Your name's Nanaki, you shit.
He's just being a shithead.
Like, why are you doing this? So I calling him Red 13 until they get to Cosmic Canyon. Like, oh, your name's Nanaki. Why didn't you say? I don't like you. I chose not to tell you because I don't like you. Well, Barrett, you see, is a father, and fathers are terrible. Because my dad decided to run away, and then his grandfather's like, oh, right, shit, I guess I never told you, your dad's like a hero. Sorry, I thought it came up sometime in these 50 years we've known each other, Nanaki. And Nanaki's like, yeah, I feel like you probably could have told me this earlier. I've grown up hating my father, you bastard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because he's like, yeah, I'm 50 years old, and he's like, yeah, but that's like only being like 15 in Red 13 species years. Yeah.
That's why Red 13, or a descendant of Red 13, appears in the opening of Advent Children, which just takes place 500 years before the movie does, for some reason. I think they just really wanted to show that overgrown shot of Midgar, like
Yeah, pretty much.
And then they didn't have any other reason for it. It's just, okay.
Because they never do explain why Midgar got abandoned then, because originally it was just when it just shows Midgar overgrown with this, they're like, well, maybe Holy destroyed all the humans and just left Red 13, but they're like, nope, they're back. They're still in Midgar. They rebuilt Midgar. They have highways and stuff now, so why is it abandoned?
No, they live in Edge, which is built on the edge of Midgar, but it's still just Midgar. It's like they basically rebuilt the slums from Midgar, but not just living in Midgar, I guess, because I guess Midgar needs Mako energy, and Mako is dead people. It feels really weird, actually. When you're playing the game, you're doing like the Shinra tour, and they're talking all about the wonders of Mako and materia. It's like, I'm pretty sure I know more about how this system works than Shinra does at this point.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's great Mako energy just draining the souls of our people.
It's basically the plot of Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So FF7 beat out Doom. I guess FF7 beat Doom Eternal by like 20 years. But
I always wonder how that works. Does that mean people don't get reincarnated anymore, or what?
I mean, unless you're Sephiroth, then you get reincarnated 3 times.
Yeah. Because like when you die, you return to the life stream. Okay, and then what happens?
Then you become materia. Then you become materia, and some people get to be like.
What do you just float? What do you just float around in the river of souls forever?
I mean, Aerith and Zack just hang out in a flowery field, I guess.
Yeah.
They just sit there and go, "Hey, Cloud, bye, Cloud." I was like, "Why do I keep seeing dead people? Fuck this shit! I'm going to Hercules World." And Hades was like, "Hey, I want you to kill Hercules." I don't know. I'll pay you. Okay.
Okay, I believe you.
Haha, sucker. I'm not going to pay you. I'm going to sick my 3-headed dog on you. And maybe that's the big twist that turns the king from us, is that Cloud gets knocked out and wakes up in Olympus Coliseum. Dressed as Vincent for some reason.
No, he wakes up on a cart. And it just says, "You're finally awake."
Oh no!
Don't Skyrim.
No, Todd Howard. I don't want to buy Skyrim again.
God, who is worse, Todd Howard or Randy Pitchford?
Oh, Randy.
Yeah, we got.
Okay.
I mean, one's a criminal, one's just a liar. One's a criminal and a sexual predator. The other one's Todd Howard.
I mean, to be fair, Todd Howard you could also argue that Todd Howard is a criminal in the sense of like the huge lobbied against the huge amount of lobbied against like Fallout 76 because of like
because of all the blatant lies they did towards advertisement and how they just didn't care.
There is some element of Todd Howard is definitely also a criminal.
No, they got sued because one of the customer service people who is just flat out tired of all the people complaining about the bag. They're like, yes, the bag was just something we made for a promotional image. We're not making it. We're not giving it to you. We're not doing anything about it. Fuck you. And they were like, oh. And then like people were like, okay, we can sue them then because that was false advertising.
It was, and it also it literally took the Better Business Bureau to twist their nuts.
So finally they're like, all right, we'll make you the stupid bags. Jeez.
But it's okay. You can get the Wastelanders upgrade for like $100.
Only 100. What a steal! It's stealing my money.
Kind of. I mean, as I said, sometimes there's arguments to be made about who is actually worse. I mean, I think it's Randy, but
yeah, I think Randy.
Randy Bobandy.
V5 for Vandy. Bandy.
Randy Pitchford, who used to make maps for 3D Realms. 3D Realms? Yeah. He made maps for like
he did like Duke Nukem ones.
And now he owns Duke Nukem. What horrible irony is this? Maybe this is the darkest timeline.
Possibly.
Have we ever considered that fact? Maybe we're in a JRPG and this is the bad end.
Oh.
What?
I mean, just oh. Just oh.
Oh, is this another?
Nothing.
Oh, I wondered if that was like a specific, like, oh, is this another FF7 thing?
No.
Maybe we're living in that version of like Persona 4 where you didn't find out that she was the true killer, or in Persona 5 where you did sell out your friends, even the one friend who totally sold you out. Feels odd. That's gonna be odd going back to where you're like, one of your friends sold you out. It's like, yeah, it's clearly Akechi. Like, very obviously
one of my friends.
Akechi. Did anyone like have any doubts that it was anyone about Akechi?
There were a few people who were like, it's so obviously Akechi, it can't possibly be him because that's just too obvious.
And I just started laughing.
And then it was Akechi.
Like, yeah, and then they were like, okay, I guess they just don't care.
I mean, who sold you out? Akechi.
I remember, like I mentioned recording multiple times, I guessed Akechi, like, because he was the first one animated and he was a dude.
I mean,
like, he was the first one to get, like, the anime cutscene before any other party member. And he's a dude. It wasn't going to be any of the girls. They don't have the balls.
Also, like, it's not also like everyone else has just sort of come from random places. Akechi also has, like, connections with the police who you're against, ostensibly. Right. And then he's just like, you know what, I give F on that. Even though I said multiple times, man, I can't wait to bring the Phantom Thieves in and arrest them. And, like, I hate them, and I'm going to take them down. And then he's like, I decided against all that. I'm with you guys now. I'm totally with you guys. I'm not going to betray you.
Like, literally, like, in it, he, like, on TV, like, 180s. Like, suddenly just like, actually, I don't think it is the Phantom Thieves. Yeah. Suddenly.
Yeah, so it's like, huh... So I don't know. Did anyone actually had any doubts that Akechi was totally the guy who backstabbed you? Because I mean,
idiot.
Like I said, only the people that were like, nah, it's too obvious.
I mean, Persona is not good at stuff. Persona is not good at subtlety when it comes to our characters going to betray or not. Because hey,
or just subtlety in general. It's not the most subtle series.
Remember when like Adachi was a perfectly nice guy with very few hints as to what his true intentions, until at the exact moment when they're like, I wonder who the actual killer is, and then Adachi's like, bitches and whores, right? I fucking love killing people.
No, yeah. well, no, it's just like, I wonder who it could be, and then Yukiko's like, oh yes, it's weird that Adachi was the only person who was with the...
There's literally a scene
with the two people, like right before they disappeared, and I was like, wait, what? Why didn't you say this at the beginning of the game?
And then there's also literally a scene before you get the choice of Adachi just losing his shit. Like, the game does go out of its way to highlight, no, it's clearly Adachi, especially when the options it gives you was, was it Dojima? No.
Actually, it's funny, apparently Dojima was originally one of the planned killers.
Yeah, he was, but then he wasn't, and it was Adachi. And plus also that would have been a bit too similar to, what's his fucking name? Is it Ikutsuki? The P3 guy.
Ikutsuki? No, that just came right out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then it's by the way,
where all of a sudden he's like, by the way, guys, I'm evil and I want to kill everyone.
By the way, I want to bring about Armageddon, and I'm going to crucify all of you. All of us? Yes. You mean even the dog? What dog? Shit. And it's like, okay, bye. Okay, thanks, Ikutsuki. Bye, Ikutsuki. Never going to see you again. And then you just fight the other chumps you've already beaten.
Yeah, but I mean, that was the first. That was, the first time it came right out of nowhere because all of a sudden, because there was no hint that he was anything other than your wacky, guy, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, by the way, yeah, he occasionally he'd show up at the dorm and like make a bad pun or two.
Hey guys, it's me. Bye guys. And then I was evil all along. And you're like, who the fuck are you? I thought Mitsuru was in charge.
Me.
And then Adachi's like perfectly fine up until the point where the game needs to tell you that he is the killer. And then he's like, I love killing people so much. Hey guys, I mentioned how much I love pushing people into TVs. Because it's my favorite thing to do.
Have I ever told you the time I threw the reporter into the TV because she turned me down?
She wouldn't have sex with me. Me, Adachi. Alright, and then P5, it's like, who could it be? Who betrayed you? Was it?
But to be fair, even when they get your memory cleared up, like literally the entire party knew.
Yeah. I don't know what.
It's like, bitch, you're not even good at this.
So it's like, why can't you just do the thing where they're like, yeah, why don't you tell us one of your accomplices? It's like, you should just tell them it was Adachi. Oh, not Adachi, Akechi. You could tell it was Adachi too, actually. Akechi did it.
Adachi's like, bitches, I'm still in jail.
Not anymore. P4 Arena. Broke
Yeah.
out or got out. Man, they should have had Manic.
That actually happens in there's a scene in Q2 where like you find someone who was apparently murdered, and like one of the options Joker can say is that Akechi must have done it, and he was like, "What?" Because this is back when he's pretending to be a good guy. So it's just like Akechi killed him, and he's like, "What?
What?
Well, what are you talking about?" I mean,
I wouldn't kill these. I wouldn't kill him.
Wait, what do you mean kill? I'd never.
What? I wouldn't do this. This is completely sloppy. If I killed them, no one would know. I mean,
I don't kill people.
I'm just your husband, though, Joker. I would.
I mean, come on, I don't kill people. What's next? You're gonna say I, like, caused mental shutdowns of various train workers, subway workers, and caused massive accidents that killed hundreds of people? Nah.
Joker, it's me, your heavily employed boyfriend. Would I kill people?
no.
Yeah.
We
And,
played
and if I
politics.
would, and even if I would, I would only kill them with you.
Because we are heavily implied to be gay.
Let's have some ice cream together. We are best friends. Ha 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 ha.
I mean, that's the only reason Akechi's that's the primary reason people love Akechi.
You know, I do like that fucking line from one of the Stag people when they have fucking, the fucking actor as the face of Stag, and she's just like, really? You're gonna have him be the face of Stag? You might as well just put a guy in a deer suit. It's pretty fucking good. Yeah, I just got my VTOL.
Nice.
The VTOL is fucking great. I love it.
But yeah, Persona's never been like subtle. That's probably why I'm already suspecting a certain character that I won't say in case it's spoilers for P5. I mean, I'm not no further into P5 world, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I guess they kind of do need to. I guess that would make the most sense for this character to be not on the level. We'll see though. I'm not going to say who it is because then people might go, "Who does he mean?"
Haru.
It's that 5-head man.
Haru, yes. Haru is the traitor.
No one knows the evils contained within that 5-head.
The evil thoughts, the malicious schemes.
The evil thoughts from that evil thought. Man, poor Haru.
Haru must be the traitor. She's too generic otherwise. Oh, wait.
It must be Haru because she only just joined. And she was barely foreshadowed. She had like one scene where they went, "Hey, there's a third year girl."
And her persona is Milady de
that's
Winter.
like that's one of the things they did in this one is they had like little extra scenes you can bump into them in the school in the early parts.
Well, you can bump into Haru. You can't bump into Yusuke because Yusuke's like
in a different
school. And I mean, Makoto hounds you from more or less the start anyway.
But like Makoto starts hounding you after I think like after a point with Madarame. By the way, my favorite thing with and during that time when you would see it, she was in different parts of the town or in the school following you, was just trying to see if I could bug out her AI pathing. I never figured out a way. I'm sure someone has though.
It's like I was saying to Saber, I know why it is, but like it's really kind of baffling to me how in Persona 5, everyone just assumes that like there's no way after like Shiho tries to kill herself that might make Kamoshida go, maybe I'm a bad guy. No, it has to be someone else. Like, yes, I know there's a calling card, but like everyone's so adamant to refuse to believe that it might just be Kamoshida's actually being guilty. It has to be the Phantom Thieves. Must be them. We must track them down. It's kind of
well, they weren't sure. It was. They were like, this must be a prank. It's not until like they did this. It's not until like 3 times in a row the Phantom Thieves were like, we're gonna make you feel sorry, and then like all of them publicly went out and were like, I was been a bad person. They're like, okay, maybe there's something to that stealing hearts thing after all.
The only person that was taking it serious before Madarame was like the principal.
Well, because the principal got told by Shido, who Shido knew about the metaverse and knew that was entirely a thing you could do.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I know why it's the case. It's because that Shido knows that someone else is fucking around with Metaverse, and he wants to know who they are so that he can kill.
Because Akechi told him.
Right.
Because he already
because Akechi saw them.
So basically, he wants to figure out who they are to either kill them or recruit them.
probably
and then kill them.
Yeah.
But all right, that's where we'll stop for today. It's a little over an hour now. Hope you enjoyed Silver Surfer Adventures while we podcast. Have a good day.